after touring, a lot of the world and the U.S., just been everywhere 3 times, the conclusion I've come to about the live playing thing, once you're on stage, there's nothing like it. The joy of the crowd energy, and if you're having a good night or whatever, it's just completely intoxicating. The getting there and setting up and having to go to bed at 1:30 and having to be up at 4:30 because you have an 11-hour drive somewhere, all that, to me, I've come to the conclusion it's a form of imprisonment because you have to be on that bus or that plane or that van to get to the next gig. You can't, go in your garage and screw around with this amp or, hey, I'm going to record the song today or I'm going to go, do some errands. You're gone. And so that part of it, I don't miss. But the playing on stage is absolutely the best. And especially you can get into a comfort zone where you know the songs and you're basically, there's a huge difference to me. It's an 180 degree opposite between a live playing and studio playing, due to the fact that live, you're trying to play the same song as fresh as possible, still keeping all the musical hooks that the people know the song for, but maybe expounding on variations, so to keep it fresh. And you're doing those songs every night, where a studio player has to go in and you have to hear a song you've never heard before. And as a guitar player, let's say, within 10 minutes, sometimes you get there and there's no music. So you have to hear the song right out of chart. Usually you get 1.5 or 2 listens to have an accurate music chart that you can read so you can not screw up when you go in to record. And you're usually playing, if it's not a band project, if you're session musicians, the bass player and drummer are probably going to get a perfect take that you can listen to a year from now, listen to 50 times and it sounds perfect, but it still has spontaneity. They're going to do that in like 2 tries, maybe 3 tries. So as a guitar player, you're going, okay, in 10 minutes, I have to play the song almost as if I wrote it. You have to know it in 10 minutes that well. You also have to not have any buzzes in your equipment. Your guitar's got to be in tune. It's got to be the right guitar, right pedal, and right amp for that song. And if it says C, F, and G, you just can't, on a session, play C, F, and G. You have to think up a great part with a great hook part with a great hook sound, and no technical issues, which usually if there's a technical issue in the studio, it's usually the guitar player. 9 out of 10 times. So when there's a buzz and I set my stuff up and it's still there, go, it's not the guitar, but that's why it's a complete opposite, and then you have to deal with, you may put your best effort. Let's say, okay, in 10 minutes, you've done three passes, and you actually got a part that works, and they're no huge. It's in time. It's not out of tune. Well, the producer, who may not be your exact biorhythm, a person may be opposite of your biorhythm, and you've just tried all your might to learn this thing, and 15 minutes gone by, and you got a take, and you're like going, yeah, I got it. He may not say like, well, that works, but it's not at all what I was thinking. You've already tried all your might to think up the best part you can for that song. Now you're going to have to go back and give that guy 2 or 3 more renditions or approaches to that verse or to that chorus. Or I went on an acoustic session a couple weeks ago. They wanted literally 4 or 5 versions of every section of the song, bridge, chorus, intro. It's like, okay, now play like you're like a young guy that can't play, where you're not really thinking about it. Okay, let's do one that like the accents on beat 3 instead of beat 2, and let's do one that's accents on beat 1, and so you have to be such an athlete, both mentally and physically, to on that type of session, which is completely different than a band session, because a band session, if you're in the band, hopefully you know the stuff well enough, where even if you've got a little bit of you know, we call it red light fever, where you go into record and you freeze up. At least you know the material well enough that you're not going to screw it up that bad. But being on a session where it's new stuff you've never heard before, it's fairly akin to brain surgery, the amount of mental horsepower that you're going to need, as opposed to going on stage and playing the same song every night. So it can be like, be careful what you wish for, because you may get in a situation, and a session gone bad is one of the most horrifying experiences you can have in life.